Hey guys, welcome back. I'm here to share my recent beauty favorites. These are not all new releases. There's some of them things that they're just new to me. Got my Anthropology pumpkin mug tea. Anyway, let's dive in. There's loads to tell you. Let's go in first with non-makeup. So my favorite, most recent fragrance purchase is this Miss Dior, but the Essence version. So I'm not a massive Miss Dior fan, but this one, I had a sample that came with a makeup order and I was just like, hello. So the big dominant note in this that differs from the regular Miss Dior is blackberry, and in particular a jammy kind of berry. And that's what it is. It's thick, sweet, but with a bit of sharpness, juicy blackberries. And I love a fruity fragrance. It has good longevity. Other people can really smell it. You can smell it on yourself for a long time. It is delicious. I'm loving that. Another favorite is, I think this is new. So I've long used the Bum Bum cream because it gives 24 hours of hydration. I get really dry shins in the summer, and also with weight loss, you've got to be careful to keep your skin in good condition and supple to minimize stretch marks and help with firmness. But they've now got this lighter lotion version of it. So this is the Body Badalada. Is that how you say it? Vitamin infused lotion, lightweight for daily hydration. I just feel like this is easier to you massage it in, it sinks in very quickly and your skin feels nice, but it's not as kind of buttery and thick as the Bum Bum cream. And then my last kind of general beauty favorite is going back to an old favorite. So this is the Fresh Rose Instant Hydration Mist. It smells really lovely. It has a very fine mist. It tightens pores, hydrates, and if my makeup starts to look a bit cakey and dry, especially if I've powdered or I've got a more matte foundation, having something like this as a sort of mid through the day refresh is lovely. And I've gone back to this and I couldn't be happier. Okay, on to complexion. First things first, this is the new Victoria Beckham foundation. I am in the shade 4 Light. These are the foundation drops, and they have inside them the Augustinus Barda. Is it Augustinus? I don't know. TFC8, which is like a proprietary skincare formula. It says this is luminous light coverage, and that's what it is. You can build it up, but then you're going to feel very dewy. I tend to use a light layer of this and then go in with her concealer pen to target where I might want a bit more coverage. And I do prime underneath with the Cell Rejuvenating Illuminator. I have the shade Rose, and these three together give you that luminous, dewy, hydrated, more youthful appearance to the skin. Evens out without covering too much. You feel hydrated. I think it's very youthful. It's not greasy or oily, but you just look healthy, rested, luminous. It is worth the money. Very liquidy. You need a couple of drops to do your face. If you want more coverage, I would not waste applying loads of this. I would top up with a concealer, this one or whatever one you like. Decide to invest in her complexion brush. This one is the 10. If you don't really like blending makeup with your fingers, but this is like a kind of a slick, non-fluffy brush. You're not going to lose any product. It's not soaking up the product and you're going to lose it to the brush or the sponge. Definitely don't use a sponge with this makeup. Your beauty blender will just drink up the foundation. You'll go through it so quick. So this, I swept it on today. You can turn it onto the side and get right in every sort of shape and just perfection. I think if you're going to invest in this, you might as well go the whole hog and get the brush that goes with it. It's brilliant. No streaks, anything like that. And as I said, this gives you this beautiful, light, but really healthy, hydrated glow that feels lovely and lightweight on the skin. And if you want to mattify in certain places, it plays well with powder, but I've only powdered under my eyes because I want that glow that I've achieved with these three products to shine through. I think the three of them together are just perfect. Another complexion product that I have been blown away by is the new Le Teint concealer from Chanel. I am a fan of the Sublimage Le Corrector Yo from Chanel. This is a very rich kind of creamy concealer, but it's great on the under eye area if you're more mature or you have dry skin. but the component is a nightmare. I don't really like a runny concealer in a glass jar. I can't really travel with it. It would get everywhere. This is not the same formula in doe foot form. It is a much more matte blurring kind of formula, but it is really nice. So it's got a doe foot. It's kind of self-setting. If I want a matte or natural kind of matte look, this is really nice without being drying. It's incredibly blurring and perfecting under the eye to a magical level. It's pretty amazing. So I will show you that in maybe my next video. I'll be wearing that. For cheeks then, other complexion-y thing. I'm really enjoying these moussey kind of matte blushes. These are the Too Faced Cloud Crush, and I've got 2 shades. So one is Milk and Cookies, and it's kind of a light kind of, I don't know, natural beigey shade. And then the other one I got is Headlines or Headliner, and it's a bit pinker. Those are those there. That's the Milk and Cookies, and that's the Headliner. They blend in a really, okay, slightly silicone-y, but in a very, very blurring, smooth way. And they're great on the lips. Unlike, where is it? This one that was a very, very much anticipated. I was very excited for it release. I'm glad I only got 1 shade, put it that way. It's okay, but it is not as good for me as these ones from Too Faced. So this is the Forever Blush Soft Filter. I got shade 2 Peony. It's nice, but it's a funny formula in that it's much thicker and not as quite as creamy as those. It almost looks chunky. Sometimes you get like a quite hard little blob of it. And when you blend it out, it feels slightly, there's more resistance when you blend it. It's not as silky. It's blurring, it's nice. But sometimes when you blend it, you get more pigment in some spots than others, especially it seems with the darker shades. I just feel like this one you can't really use on the lips. It is for the cheeks, and it's maybe a bit drier, and it kind of, as it fades and wears, I felt like a couple of times I felt it looked a bit patchy on me, whereas I've never had that with the Too Faced ones, and they're much cheaper. And I advise, if you're looking for one of those, they are fun. They smell like toasted marshmallow, smaller, lighter, non-glass component. Other blushes I have been really into. This Rhode, it's called Tan Lines, and I love these anyway. You know, I've got like 5 or 6 of these, but this shade is in that kind of beigey, vintage pink kind of thing, but there's a bit of warmth so it doesn't look too grey. These are so good because unlike something else I love, the Merit Flush Balms, there's a bit more opacity and colour. They're still creamy and super easy to blend. You can put them over powder, you can put them over just your foundation or skin tint or on bare skin. But they do hang around. They're a bit more long wear. This is glamorous and fun. And I never had the original of the Patrick Tar highlight duo, and then all I remember hearing was that like people were saying the formula was terrible. He's reformulated it, and I don't know about that previous formula, but this is amazing. I have the shade Daddy, similar format to his nice blush duos. This shade is kind of rose goldy. You've got a lovely kind of slightly coppery shot through with gold cream, and then I think for me my favorite is the powder. It's so buttery and so kind of shimmery in a refined duochromy kind of way. It just looks great on the cheeks, and it's the kind of color I like. It's slightly shifty, but I don't know if you can get that in this light. The powder is just so gorgeous. This is Yogi tea, and it's the chai. Love is a source of bliss and infinity. Okay, where are we up to? This literally came yesterday in the post, but I love it, and I've already gone back and ordered another shade. This is the new Burberry Outdoor Blush, and I got the shade 66 Earthy Rose because it looked to me, and I'm wearing it today, like a bronzer, which I really need at this time of year, and I'll explain. So as we move into autumn, winter and the holiday makeup, I've got a bit of a smudgy situation there. I am going a bit more warm or bold and colourful on the eyes, and I will start to wear bolder lips. So sometimes if I've got that going on, I need something very neutral on the cheek, or it all starts to look a little bit too puce, too colourful. This is a really lovely silky formula, and just look at that colour. I mean, in these lights, it's going to look even, it's not peachy, it's more of a soft tan kind of shade. The formula is silky. It's got this silly little brush, but I guess if you were out and you just wanted to do a touch up, you don't need to remember a brush. Gorgeous. And there's a reddy shade. That's what I've ordered because I'm into my reddy, cranberry, terracotta-y, warm autumn loveliness. And this is fab. It's on Selfridges. Still so enjoying the Danessa Myrecks Colorfix sticks. This is my favorite one. It's 3. So this one has got on the foil side Lunar Veil, and on the metallic side, which you could argue is a bit more wearable, this is Solar Flare. So you've got a metallic, a metallic side. They're very wet and cooling. So this little cap is to be retained, I think. So you've got a metallic side, so smoothing and easy to blend and apply. And in a minute, that will be set. And that's what, for me, is the game changer with these. And then you've got the foil side that is like to dab on top as more of an accent. And they all are in duos where you have a coordinating foil and metallic. The thing about these, never mind her exquisite packaging that you can you could travel with them, you can mix them up, you could take this bit off, or you can put it back on. I mean, you know, it's Danessa Myrecks. The thing about these is there's no fallout. It's a cream. It's a luxurious, it's not hard to blend or stiff like some eyeshadow sticks. And if we just leave that there for a couple of minutes, you will see it's going nowhere. So that's what makes these so amazing. Yeah, I use these every time I go out in the evening and I want to up the ante with my eye makeup. I've been reaching for these. This is the Bibliophilia from Byredo. What's wrong with me? I'm so tired. So I wasn't sure about this. I missed out on the palette last year, Mineralscapes, and I was gutted because it looked like such a beautiful, soft, natural colour story with all these greens and earthy tones. But no matter, because my time was coming. I just didn't know it. This is like warm and earthy, and I was just curious about the theme, libraries, books, authors it was celebrating. And these colours are the colours you'd see on the spines of old books and things. I just love all the theme and the backstory. But these colours just look just absolutely glorious. I'll swatch a few for you now. Some favourites. These two that are that kind of vintagey, rosy shades are the colours I seem to keep reaching for. I've got a lot of lights on, so it's going to look even like more orange, and they're not really orange. And then if you prefer the cooler side of the pans, you've got some really high impact like shimmers, wearable kind of mattes, but they're very creamy. I mean, it's just glorious. But although some of them look very similar, like for example this one and this one, you can see when you really look at it that's a lot warmer than that, and so you've got all different tones. This whole area here is just my jam for autumn winter. I can't wait to play with this burgundy colour. And then this looks super real coppery or orange. It's not, it's like a cranberry red with gold, and I think that's going to be so lovely as a festive colour, especially with blue eyes. So I think this is amazing. Other favourites recently have been the Wild Beige from Miss Dior. The only thing I don't like about this is that they've put this stupid little sleeve thing, which is pointless. I wish they had done what they did with the lipstick case, which is that it's hard and it's like part of the actual packaging. If this design was on here, I think it would have been really amazing. Wild Beige, I think in this Miss Dior collection there were maybe 3 or 4 colorways. There's a lilac-y one, there's a bold black, there's one with a very hot pink in it, but this one appealed to me because I do like my neutrals. I love these soft nudie pinks mixed with these other, like a nice bronzy metallic, this very white shimmery shade as a sort of inner corner pop, and then that's got enough depth for me anyway to like line and give some definition. So I find this really nice quality formula. You hear that Dior shadows are hit and miss. I have to be honest, in the last year I've only had one quint. Ooh, see, I've dropped that thing already, it's so annoying. One quint that didn't really work out for me, but the other 4 or 5 that I've tried or owned have all been wonderful. And I like wearing it together with this, which is my first ever, can you believe it, Addict shiny lipstick. So I'm not going to lie, I really wanted the case to match that set. And I got the shade, Atelier is the colour, 527. It is just a soft kind of mauvey pink. That's Atelier, very neutral pink. So these are the Danessa sticks. And now that they've had a couple of minutes, but they're not going anywhere and they are quite long wearing. So I added another shade of the Master Matte from Mario, and this is the blush pink one, and it is my favorite by an absolute mile. I'll just put that there under the lipstick. It's a great base, but that is that blush one. Look at that with that lip. So loving these kind of pinks, kind of ballerina pink, but a tiny bit deeper. Anyway, still loving. I just wanted to show you because loads of people skipped this version of the eye wardrobe because they felt that it was too red, too burgundy on the eyes. So this is the Bordeaux quad, and I'm wearing it today. And as you can see, I think it's quite subtle. I didn't just kind of dip my brush and hardly touch it. I went for it. I used this everywhere, and then I used a tiny bit of this in the crease, this around the lash line, and then in the center of the lid, some of this beautiful coppery sort of shimmer. And I just think you can get different looks depending on how much of the Bordeaux shade you use. You can just use this one and the brown, and they blend so beautifully. You cannot fault these Victoria Beckham eyeshadow palettes. Some other eyeshadow palette favorites, and I have to share this with you because I didn't really like it at first. This is Lisa Eldridge's Desert Gleam, and I've just found ways to make this work. If I use a lot of this khaki and this shade here, it can look a bit yellow on me. If warmth comes from like a yellowiness, I can look sallow. So I just make sure that this and this are not too much close together, but this shade is great. This bronzy shade is great. The only shade in the palette I'm not wild about is that one, but I can just do a tiny dot of it somewhere, especially for an evening, to give a bit of a gold glimmer. But I much prefer this one, which is like a greeny silver. I've already shared this palette, I think, so I'm not going to swatch it and stuff. And a couple of times recently, I've got a really nice autumnal look from this that I really enjoy. Another real win is one of the buttons quads from Chanel. So this is my favorite. This is the 219 Bouton Couture, and it's all the brownie shades, and I absolutely love this. This is like going to be my main squeeze, I think, along with that Byredo. In that there's a taupey one, and then there's a slightly more reddy toned brown. I wear different shades of brown. I like caramel right through to chocolate. I like that raisin brown that's like almost burgundy, but it's still brown. I just love all those shades. They suit my skin tone and my aesthetic. I think that's it for eyes. Now we're going to move on to lips. Before we do lips, I just want to share with you something that's not new, it's new to me. I picked up a third one of these Westman Atelier duos. I love the packaging, I love the formula, they're just glorious. And I decided to get the Petal Biscuit one because the ones I have are Coquette and Mimi, quite a light one, and then Suede and Sable, which I absolutely love, but they're all blush duos. This one is a contour blush duo. This is the classic Petal, and this is the Biscuit, and I absolutely love this. It's so quick and easy. You can do your whole cheek situation and probably eyes in 2 seconds flat. So I wanted to just share that I picked that up, and that's a good segue into this next combo. It is such utter perfection for me. So I love the Petal highlight stick and the blush in the cream, and now I have it in the powder. And I thought, oh, when she launched the lip liners, I thought, let me get that first. So I bought the Petal lip liner. When she launched the lip suede in Petal, I thought, oh, I haven't got one of those. I bought that, and it was not the same shade. It was a couple of shades lighter, but it coordinated with the liner, but it's too light on me. So I was disappointed, and I thought, I'm not buying another lipstick online where I'm not sure about the shades. Recently, I was in a big Space NK store that had a Westman atelier counter, and I tried about 6 or 7 shades and then with the liner swatched, and basically pique is the closest shade to the Petal liner. It's much closer to it than the Petal lipstick. Here it is. I could have, my friend will tell you, I nearly cried with joy. This is my nude pairing. I'm going to put it on. Hang on. This is my matte lip duo of dreams. These lip suede formulas, I need a mirror, are so good for a matte. And the liner is long wearing and easy to do, and it's just a classic wooden pencil. I'm not going to spend ages perfecting that. That needs sharpening, actually. But this, I was really gutted when when you buy like a 40, 50 quid lipstick and it isn't really the right shade for you, it's kind of infuriating. Especially when the liner was the perfect shade and then the lipstick just wasn't matching. It was just too light for me. Oh my goodness. I just love this. For a year-round nudie lipstick, I could do this with autumn looks any time of year. And this, for a matte lipstick, these suede lipsticks are just so luxurious, from the packaging to the feel when you apply it. And the way that they fade and wear away, it doesn't look patchy. It doesn't leave like horrible lines and sink in. Just love that. So I'm very happy with that duo. I bought one of these Huda lip contour stains. I bought the nudie one. I think it was called Soft Nude. And it had a slight weird pH reaction or something, well, on me, where it went on as a neutral nude, but it laned kind of purplish, mauvey tone that did not work with my skin tone. And so it looked really unnatural and stark. And I went back and got Toasty Brown, having watched a few reviews. And actually this is much wetter than the one I had as well. I'm getting more out. That's the thick line, and then if you turn it this way you get a slightly thinner, still quite a thick line, but I don't leave it as a harsh line. I kind of smudge it out a little bit so that when your lipstick wears away you don't get a stark kind of pen line. A cheap dupe for this, and actually easier to control because it's got a more firm tip, is this Palladio one that I got on Amazon, and it's in the shade Mocha, but it's almost identical. So these, I didn't think that much brown would suit me, but it goes with a lot of these lip shades that we're into at this time of year. And then a gloss, and this is so good, guys. This is so good. I had to get a friend in the States to buy it and send it to me because we can't get Sarah Creal here in the UK yet. But this is the No Further Questions lip gloss in the shade My Pleasure, and it is that kind of caramel brown, but can you see that iridescent, almost pinky gold shimmer through it? It's a really sophisticated lip gloss for grown-ups in that it's creamy, it's not too thick. This is nice on its own or with one of these. Perfect partner. So you still got that translucency, but you've got definition around the edge, or to top a lipstick. Not sticky at all, not even 1% sticky. Creamy, nourishing, luxurious, like modern packaging. Weighty little glass. Oof, worth every penny. I think that's about it, but I think that's everything. There are more things that I've enjoyed, but these are like the top things that I'm reaching for. They're in this top drawer and I'm just reaching for them constantly. What's going to happen next in terms of beauty? I do have some fashion and like autumn content to shoot for you guys. But in this drawer, as well as the section for my like everyday staples that I'm loving, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lip product holders, and we're at about 60 to 80 lip products at the moment. I've got some new luxury lips, so I've decided to do a declutter, revisit last year's holiday stuff, like it's coming up for a year old. Am I still reaching for it? That kind of thing. I have got 3 or 4 luxury new lipsticks that I'm loving. I've got one of the Chantecaille lip creams, or lip creme. I have got a new Celine satin lipstick, La Rouge Celine. I already own 2 of these. I have a new shade that's more autumn appropriate for me. And I have a satin lipstick from Louis Vuitton that I picked up in Harrods a week ago, today or tomorrow, that I wanted to share with you. And I have a couple of the On Stage new shiny lipsticks from Dior. So I thought that I would do a separate video showing you the lip colours that I love as we go into fall, and showing you those new ones, and maybe moving some on in a kind of on-camera declutter. How does that sound? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these favourites. Everything will be listed, and some things, if I can, will be linked. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great week.